Good Tuesday afternoon. This is the Brian Gould Show Sports Edition on 444 Radio. Make sure you check out my website, briangouldShow.com. You get all the updates on everything we're discussing on my live Twitter feed. Tweet me anytime at Real Brian Gould. Find me on Facebook, Real Brian Gould as well. Guys, we have Joe Cool in the studio today.
Good Monday, everybody.
Monday, huh? It's Tuesday.
What is it, Tuesday?
Yeah. Go back to bed.
Where my head is.
Go back to bed. I'll see you next week. Evan's in studio today.
How we doing, gentlemen?
And, of course, the mastermind behind all the mayhem that goes on here at 444 Radio, Jay.
I don't know if I really want that, but thank you.
Well, you are the mastermind. Without you, my mic gets shut off every 15 minutes.
Oh, come on.
Touché.
Really?
Touché.
Yes.
Only during Pete Rose's
That's
interviews.
right.
Only.
Whatever.
We had a Monday night football game, and we are all dead wrong with our pick.
Hold on. No, we weren't all wrong. We also take the over.
Yeah.
Well, we all took the Saints.
But we all took the over on the points.
I took the under.
Saints lost.
Oh, you double?
Yeah, I doubled negative last night.
The Saints lost.
Oh, they didn't
again?
just
They
lose.
didn't just lose, yeah.
Yeah.
To Atlanta?
They came back at the end
Yeah.
to make it somewhat respectable, but there were 77 points scored or something last night.
Yeah,
What
ridiculous.
the hell happened this weekend in football? All over the place.
Yeah, we the only person that actually walked away without really any real damage was Jay with his picks. I think he went 9-7 overall.
Yeah, because I missed Thursdays, too. Obviously, I'm honest about that. I thought Houston was going to...
We all did.
Yeah.
I almost picked the Browns.
Oh, you did pick the
They
Browns.
were there.
And they lost.
They were there. They should have won that game.
They did what Cleveland always does.
Now they're looking for a new kicker.
They should be.
Open tryouts.
Last night, Atlanta defeats New Orleans 45-32. The Saints dropped to 0-3 on the season. Farewell, Saints.
It's over for
Be-
them.
Wow.
Back to the Aints.
Yeah, before the game started, both teams joined in unity right after the national anthem for a moment of silence and reflection. Woohoo.
For what?
For that, a moment of silence. And they all got in a big circle, held hands.
That's the
arms.
new... Instead of sitting down now and kneeling, they're all doing different...
Just
ways of-
indiscriminately for no reason whatsoever?
After the national anthem was done, the head coaches talked earlier in the week, and the quarterbacks were down with it too.
Whatever.
So,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Drew Brees, I tell you what, man, this guy holds the NFL record, no joke, for the most 300-yard passing games and losses in NFL history. The Saints suck, man. They're bad.
Their defense is terrible.
Horrible, man.
Isn't this a contract year for Breeze?
It
No, he
was.
just signed it.
He
Why?
just signed, yeah. You know what's going to
But it's not
happen?
his
Big
fault.
mistake.
No, it's not his fault. It's,
Everyone wants to blame the quarterback
have a
no matter what on every team, no matter what happens.
You have
Yes.
a 300-yard game and you lose, that is not your fault.
Oh, I agree, but I bet you he's regretting maybe signing that contract.
no,
now.
he's getting paid. He doesn't care at this point.
Now he's way more
You
excited.
don't
No,
think
he's even-
winning is more important than money?
At this point in his career, probably not as much as it was 5 years ago. I know what you're saying, but he signed a contract. He got almost the money he wanted, but he gets to reevaluate at the end of the season.
Right. I would say that you're right. He might want to win if he hadn't had a Super Bowl, but the fact that he at least has a ring,
He's okay.
he's probably at least okay.
Two would look a lot nicer than
true.
Oh
I can't
yeah,
argue.
yeah. No, you're right. But how do you? And what's sad is with the Saints, the way that their salary cap is structured over there. Their salary in general, they have the most dead money on salary, and it's hurting them because the hole that they keep getting dug into more is going to be more of a impossible feat to climb out of. The way that
You
they
want me
are.
to tell you the secret that not a lot of people have the insight, and I'm dead serious with you about this? You want to know why they're terrible and going to continue to be terrible? Do you know who they hired
No,
after Miami fired? Jeff Ireland, our GM who ran the franchise into
Oh,
the
you gotta be
ground.
that
kidding
just gave me goosebumps, man.
He's now the assistant GM there. He's the one pulling the trades and making the deals. What do you think's happening?
Yep, done.
Sorry, Saints fans.
Done.
I lived with that for like 8 years. Have fun with that.
That literally gave me goosebumps. What's sad is Drew's gonna probably pass for more yards than anybody, throw more touchdowns, and their
lose.
team's not going to make the playoffs.
They'll only have one ring. It'll be like Marino who threw for all that, and they only made it to one Super Bowl, but never won. It's the same deal.
Man, that's so sad. That's really sad that the Saints suck. They
I don't
really
think
do.
they've been great for a couple of years now, though.
No, but
Every year they're getting worse and worse.
it's decisions. They've got more dead money on salary on the sheets than anybody else in the
Thank
league.
you, Jeff Ireland.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. They keep going backwards and backwards and backwards, and
Okay, let me ask you this. Jay, a while ago, you said if you take Tony Romo and you put him on the Patriots, are the Patriots that good? If you take Drew Brees...
Oh, my God. Don't even...
No, I'm asking you. If you take Drew Brees and put him on a decent team like
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Don't even scare me and say Drew Brees on the Patriots. I would blow my brains out.
Yeah,
That'd be it for me for football.
That's annihilation right there.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
He's the number one pick every year for fantasy
disgusting.
for like 15 straight seasons.
If you put him on the Cowboys, would he straighten the Cowboys out?
Yeah.
Not that the Cowboys are
I
doing
think so.
bad
I think
right now.
I think the Cowboys are a lot better than everybody gave them credit for, including us.
Yes, agreed.
Team-wise, they're a solid team.
I like that.
We'll
kid
get into the
Dax.
power rankings because they finally cracked my top 10 after this weekend. Matt Ryan throws 2 touchdowns in last night's win. Drew Brees throws for 3 with 1 interception. And again, he throws for 376 yards.
So almost
and a
400
loss.
yards, 3 touchdowns, and they lost.
And a loss, man.
There you go.
Ridiculous.
Mark Ingram had a pretty decent game, 15 carries for 77 yards. The only rushing touchdown came, I'm looking here, John Kuhn had it, 1 carry for 3 yards, so he ran it obviously at a goal line. I did not get to see all of the game.
Isn't John Kuhn a white guy?
Yes.
Yes.
So there you go, Evan. Stop your little
I know,
racist
it's
giggle
not-
over there.
It's just nothing. What are you talking about?
Right.
You're such a racist.
Coming from you, that's funny. Yeah.
I know, right? Jesus. I was
I was talking about you, not him.
I hate you both.
Liar.
How dare you throw me under the bus like that? I didn't do anything.
Freeman had a good game, 5 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. Hardy caught 2 receptions for a touchdown. And a team that Julio Jones, for you fantasy ballers out there, were let down last night. 1 catch for 16 yards. Where's that kid been?
Normally the plan is if you shut him down, you win.
Right.
By the way, speaking of fantasy, you would say in our league that even though with the bonuses that we have, 190 is normally about the ceiling through the first few weeks we've been, okay?
So far, yeah.
Do you guys see what Victoria's team scored after last night?
Like what?
No.
Total 245 points.
Jesus.
She destroyed.
How is that humanly possible? Wow.
I don't know. She texted me last night at midnight, and it's like, why don't you, I didn't get it till this morning, why don't you go take a look at the fantasy points? I was like, okay.
So if she ends up in a tie with anybody, she'll get the tiebreaker based
Like
on
her opponent
points.
scored 130 and lost by 115 points.
That is sick. Absolutely sick.
What did she, I got to see what she scored here.
Man.
Because I'm...
Well,
You won, by the way, Brian. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Way to beat Melinda.
got the win. First one of the season. Feels good. Got that one underneath my belt.
Drew Brees put up how many points last night? Hold on a second.
Oh, did she have Drew Brees?
All right, so she had Brees, who put up pretty much 30. Blunt, who put up 36. And then, Freeman for Atlanta last night, who put up 36.
Freeman had a good game.
Oh, and she had Coleman. Oh, no, he's on the bench. Okay, so who else?
She had Coleman on the bench. He only caught 3 receptions, though.
So I guess from Brees and Coleman last night alone, she put up another 67 points on her 180 score or whatever that she had last night. That's ridiculous.
Who's the number 1 quarterback?
Coleman had 3 touchdowns, though, didn't he? Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns by himself.
Who's the number 1 quarterback so far?
Well, we'll get to that. Hold on before anybody answers that, because I do want to talk about that. So, again, last night, Atlanta defeats New Orleans 45-32. Saints dropped to 0-3 on the season. The Raiders released 4-time Pro Bowler fullback Marcel Reece on the day he was eligible to return to the active roster. He's coming off of a 4-game suspension, which actually was a 5-game suspension. He got suspended for the last game of last season coming into this season. He was suspended for violating the NFL's policy on performance enhancement substances. What happened was he got caught taking a natural extract that helps you clear out performance enhancement testing and substance out of your bloodstream.
Sure.
So after his suspension gets lifted by the league, the Raiders cut him loose.
They know something.
Well, you can't cut someone while they're on suspension. So they're looking to move forward. They've got a young rushing core there in Oakland, so it was only a matter of time before they had to pull the trigger on somebody, and unfortunately it ended up being Marcel Reece. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Greg Hardy, who remains unsigned.
Arrested again.
He got arrested for cocaine possession in Texas.
And this is the guy that had the domestic
Stuff,
violence.
but it got dropped. Now, Jay, we were talking about this the other day, about cops and stuff. So Greg Hardy gets pulled over late Sunday night, technically Monday morning. He gets pulled over by a cop in Texas for not using his left-hand turn signal at a stop. So he gets pulled over. The cop searches his vehicle.
That's probable cause to search your vehicle now?
In Texas, yeah.
For not signaling to turn?
In Texas, do you have to signal to turn?
You have to use everything in Texas.
I understand that it's being just like rolling through a stop sign, that should not be probable cause.
Right.
Not putting your blinker on to make a turn.
Thank you.
Should not. It's not probable cause that you're doing something illegal.
He gets stopped, and this is how ridiculous this is. The cop searches his vehicle, finds a pipe, more or less, with nothing in it, but it has remnants, which he scraped off, and then goes through...
I know someone that had that happen.
Greg Hardy's wallet and finds a little baggie of cocaine in it and arrests him for possession. Now
he went through his wallet?
He got released on $5,000 bond Monday afternoon, and he got put through the cleaners on that stop. Like, I think Hardy would have had a better chance coming across the border from Mexico and having his car stripped down to bare bone frame, nuts and bolts, than to go through this stop. Like, this cop went through everything and got him on marijuana remnants and went through his wallet and found a cocaine little baggie. Might have been an ounce, half ounce. I don't know how that works. So quarter ounce, half ounce, but so he gets
grams is what you're
gram.
looking for.
Is that the word?
Well, you can tell that
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not drug
what
people.
you heard.
Okay.
He's like an ounce. I don't know, half an ounce. No, that's probably expensive. I've never done coke in my life,
An
but
ounce of cocaine.
An ounce. Okay, gram. There you go. A little a baggie. He finds a little baggie.
I just know
in his
an ounce
wallet.
of marijuana allegedly is already a decent amount. So I can only imagine.
I guess. Okay, an ounce of coke would not fit in your wallet. Sorry.
Oh no, it would.
That would.
You could probably fit it in there, right?
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure.
going to be more. We got to stop.
Yeah. Anyways,
How much
Move
can you
along.
fit in your wallet, Evan?
yeah.
Well, I've got mine chopped into sections.
Yeah, so $5,000 bond after all that headache. So they only clip him for $5,000 to get out, and he gets out. So
You guys are angry about that. You know that they stopped him.
no, you get stopped, but he
let me ask you
searched
this.
his car.
Okay, I get that. Okay, and yeah, he was wrong on doing that. But if it didn't happen then, I'm sure down the road it's going to happen.
Then you
again.
let it happen
Let it
down the
gonna
road.
happen
Yeah,
again.
come on, Debbie Downer, don't pull that card.
No.
Seriously?
He's already got busted for
That doesn't
domestic violence.
But those
matter.
charges were
There's-
dropped. They were dropped.
Well, now you might want
Evan,
to go look
help
into
us out
it
on this,
again.
Evan.
It does not matter because the second you break the law to get somebody else to get busted by law, it doesn't matter.
So he broke the law by not
Two-
signaling.
No,
Yes,
no,
that's why he got
you're
pulled
right.
over.
Actually,
But
that's not
then-
a law. He committed a traffic.
That's a traffic violation,
which is a civil
exactly
violation.
Civil infraction,
On
yes.
top of that,
That's not-
once the cop does what he's not supposed to do, now he's broken the law. So where does it stop?
Right.
Like-
Where's the line?
And no matter what happens, you know what the line
That's a
is?
good point.
You know what the line is? It's always with the police officer.
You don't-
because they are the ones who are supposed to be in the right at all times.
You don't. I don't understand how not signaling, speeding, stopping. You know what I mean? Like those aren't things you're supposed to do. But how does A plus B there equal C? Like
Right. If he was swerving,
exactly.
or something
he's
to
doing
draw that
130 and
attention.
you pull him over and he's shaking and he's like, "Hey, officer, what do I do, officer? Can you know?"
See, that's not even what scares me. What bothers me is what happens if he pulls him over, does all that shit, and he doesn't find anything. Then what? Then what is that cop
that
gonna
the
we
do?
end
have
of the
videos.
world?
No,
let him go.
No,
No.
they make up stuff.
But then they make something up.
There's been 2 stories in the last week that the cops are being sued right now for making up stories.
And what about this? What about if now he is all pissed off that he's been pulled over and has not done anything and feels violated himself, starts running his mouth. Next, you know, you end up with an athlete dead on the side of the road.
Yeah, he gets shot. Yep. Man, it's
that's
just
how
crazy.
quick it go. That's how quick it
It
unravels.
escalates real fast, man, and it
by
does
the way,
unravel.
they're shooting 12, 13, 14-year-old kids. Now you're talking about a professional giant athlete.
Yep.
You know what? Now all of a sudden, he actually does. Now when he says, hey, well, he came at me and took a step at me, I was in fear of my life. You know what? I can understand that now.
Right.
And now you just automatically put...
But are you in fear of life if I go like this, Evan? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
If
What are you
you're-
gonna do?
if
What are you
you're-
gonna do?
if
What are you
you're
gonna do?
Assault.
It's
And then
assault.
no, but I'm saying that's basically what the cop's doing.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
here's the thing.
yeah.
Now, if you're doing that to the cop...
No, I meant the cop doing it to him.
Oh,
That's
I
more or
know.
less what he's doing. Pulling him over, agitating him,
Right,
trying
but-
to get him worked up.
But that guy now is no matter what no matter what is going on...
What are you WTFing for?
I don't know. I'm bleeding all over the place somehow.
Bleeding?
Bleeding.
So, this guy is a giant human being. So that cop can easily say, at any time, I can shoot this guy and it's going to be justified.
Stop picking
for
at your
any
meth
reasons.
scabs. Jeez.
So, it's AIDS. So, I hate you.
That was just wrong.
I don't even know how. How did that even happen?
Rough
Anyway.
weekend in Atlanta. Woo!
Yeah, it was
That
actually.
rat scratching you.
But I mean, all joking aside, though,
Yeah.
having a giant person like that can be very. As soon as a cop sees me, I can shoot this guy, no problem.
Yeah. You
sure.
think that's what goes through these guys' minds, especially with an athlete? I mean,
Some
you
of
pull
them, yeah.
over you pull over Greg Hardy and you say license registration. You see Greg Hardy on there that used to play for your Dallas Cowboys. You think, okay, I might be able to hang this guy out to dry.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want to take it down this road, okay, by any means, and I'm not usually one to do this. But
High
is this
profile bust.
high profile bust? Yeah. Now with Greg Hardy being black, is this cop white on top of it? Good old boy, Texas boy mentality.
But I also
I
think
hate to
you're
go down
overlooking
that
it.
path.
I think, and this sounds stupid, but what if the guy is a Cowboys fan, a disgruntled Cowboys fan?
There you go.
That hates Greg Hardy and thinks he cost them a game or something last season. I'm
Right.
serious.
Yeah, holds a grudge for something.
There are Evan's a psycho gator. I'm not even trying to be funny. Think about it. Imagine, Evan, you pull over someone in a Florida State player. You know what I mean? And who didn't signal, and you're a police officer. Think about it. As a fan I saw a smile on his face. Instantly, it's like, what can I catch him
Bingo.
doing?
Because look at the extreme that the officer went through. He had, I'm trying to find it here in my notes, more or less a pipe with remnants of marijuana in it. Not even any, no marijuana on
I knew
him.
someone that got caught jaywalking, and that was probable cause to search their bag, and same situation, find something with remnants and get
And not
charged.
only did he go through like the
For
car
jaywalking.
and find this pipe with the remnants in it, but he goes through Greg Hardy's wallet.
I've never heard of that before.
Right, and I almost feel like that it's planted at that point. But Greg Hardy made a comment to the officer, I did not know that was in there. If it got in there, it was from a party the night before. I paid for everyone's stuff. And if anything, when people took money out of my wallet, someone might have stuck it in there, was his defense to that.
Yeah, unfortunately,
That's
that's
a poor
That doesn't
He
hold.
should have kept his mouth shut.
Exactly, that doesn't hold water. Exactly.
Right.
But,
Lindsay Lohan tried that.
I'm the type of person.
That's probably the truth, though.
it
But
could
it doesn't matter.
could have happened.
Oh yeah,
It
absolutely.
doesn't matter. It's illegal, but he should have just shut up.
We weren't there. We don't know what Hardy's reactions were or his how he handled the situation either.
You don't
He
have
might
to because
he might
he's
have
not
pissed
the
this
cop.
officer
He's
off.
not the police officer, so it doesn't matter. You're allowed to, as long as you're not dangerous to the cop, you can say and act any asshole you want.
No, my point is he may have got pulled over for
Right.
not signaling, and once the cop saw him and he knew the cop wasn't giving him a break, he may have been shaking or who knows what he
Right.
was doing.
What
we weren't there.
what nervous signals
We weren't there.
that he's showing, yeah.
I'm the type of I want to hear both sides of the story before I
You
pass
think he
judgment.
could have just been a little nervous because
Yeah, that whole I'm nervous is not probable cause to me because
That's right.
I don't have
I'm
9 pounds
driving-
of coke in my car, but if I get pulled over, you better believe I'm thinking I'm getting shot.
I'm also driving at night in Texas, and I'm a black man, and every person who's a cop these days has killed everybody who looks anything like me.
Exactly.
That could have something to do with it.
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Cops say that Hardy and his passenger had just eaten at an Applebee's and they're on their way home, nonetheless. So after eating dinner on his way home, he gets popped.
Who is not worried or nervous around a cop pulling them over at any time?
Yeah, especially the last year.
Anytime. I have never
Yeah.
not been nervous. I just see a cop car on the side of the road,
And
I
instantly,
almost cause an accident
I
every time.
No, you're right. I start thinking, okay, all the lights are working, everything's good in the car.
Every time.
It's like you start going through a million things in your head. Like, have I paid any tickets I've ever gotten? I got? It's like you're worried that they're gonna run you over and
Because
shoot you
I
down.
know. I get pulled over. I guarantee you, my chances of being arrested, hurt, or shot are higher than your average white guys. I guarantee you.
Why is that?
Because I am not going to be able to contain myself when he starts doing stupid shit.
And you're a huge person. And
Yeah, that's true, too.
I'm not making a fat
Right?
joke. You're a big
Right?
guy anyway.
So no matter what happens, I know he's going to say something, and I'm going to be like, "That's not true," and I'm gonna be like, "This is no, you can't. I want to search your car. I don't give a shit what you want to do. No, you're not searching my car, and I don't have any drugs in my car. Never do. Don't carry them. Don't really use them. They will not be in my car. But I'm still not going to allow you to just do whatever the hell you want in my car, and that's going to escalate." And everybody's like, "Well, why don't you just shut up and do it?" No, because I'm not supposed
That's
to
the
shut up and
defense
do
I
it.
hate. If you just let the cop do whatever
Just
he
let
wants,
the
things
cop
will
do
be
it.
fine.
Next, the cop. I let the cop put 2 in the back of my head, and I'm in cuffs. That's what the problem is.
Well, I did misquote.
Boy, what a great sports show.
No, I did misquote something here. It wasn't a pipe that he got. The remnants was found. It was a marijuana grinder in the center console of his car.
Big difference.
A brown weed grinder was found in his car. No
like,
weed
like
in it.
a wooden one?
I don't know if it was. It just says brown weed
The
grinder.
kind you use, Jay.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just don't understand where they really need to define probable cause way better. And you can't just because you don't like somebody, because somebody cops an attitude with you, that's not probable cause for anything. That means he doesn't like you, and this is America. He doesn't have to fucking like you.
Bingo. Cops say they tested the substance.
And,
da-da-da-da-da.
and by the way, as long as you don't threaten a cop, you can say or call him anything you want. It doesn't matter. I can call you an asshole at any time I'd like. That's my God-given right as a United States as a member of the United States. I mean, that's just the way it is. What's up?
I agree with what you're saying. Let me throw this out there.
Right.
Okay. Say it wasn't marijuana. Say it was cocaine.
It was cocaine.
Okay.
That's what he got popped
That's
for.
why he got popped. Okay. Say he didn't pull him over, and down the road, Hardy goes and kills somebody because he's all coked up.
He wasn't, though.
I'm saying
Now
hypothetical.
you're
I'm
putting
saying
words
I'm saying
into some-
hypothetical.
Right.
Then you turn it around on the cop and say, "Well, why didn't the cop pull him over?"
Right.
Well,
So
you
you're-
can't say that because
it's a
you wouldn't
dude-
know if a cop saw him or
you're
not.
dead if you're wrong if you do. You're wrong if
Because
you
The
don't.
dude just came from dinner. We can't even role play that out.
Right.
That's not even a factor here. The factor is he didn't use a turn signal. He gets pulled over. The cop searches his car, goes through his wallet, finds what he finds, and says, "Yep, we're taking you in. Have a nice night."
And it doesn't even matter. The law protects you anyway. Because you'll say, well, why didn't you arrest him? I don't have probable cause. Okay.
And not to mention,
Conversation's
say Greg Hardy gets stopped. Dude, you didn't use your blinker. Here's a warning, or here's a ticket. Have a nice night. We wouldn't even know anything about anything. We wouldn't even know that he got stopped,
Yeah,
realistically.
I mean, you know what? Write him a $900 ticket if you want. Be a complete super dick and write him one for up and down the world. But you know what? You still don't have probable cause to pull him out of the car. And
Right.
search. Unless, of course, like I said, a video wants to surface where... But still, like Evan said, if you're screaming at the guy, go F yourself, whatever, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. That's still not probable cause.
Exactly.
Well, that's the difference. What does matter and what does matter and what should matter are two different things.
Yeah.
Because what should matter is the letter of law. This is the way it is. You can't do anything about this. But what does happen is totally different.
Yeah.
Hey, I got news for you. I don't have to like you. I don't have to pretend to like you. And then you start, well, you need to show me respect. No. Where in the Constitution does it say that I have to show you respect anywhere?
And that boils down to just power-hungry, mad,
Exactly.
pissed off, arrogant cops. And there's some out there, not all of them, but
I agree.
there's some out there.
There are
that,
one or two good ones, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. And I mean, getting yanked out of your car for something simple like, you didn't use your turn signal. Come on, man. Really? Unreal. Well, let's take a quick break here. When we get back from the break, I want to talk some more NFL news, the power rankings, and who's going to be the first loser.
You forgot Romo getting arrested.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
All right, this is the Brian Gould Show, Sports Edition. We'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Sean Stringer. Me and Dr. Philip Nikeo are the newest members of the 444 radio lineup. We'll cover weight loss, health issues, mental health issues, and we'll talk with top health, wellness, and personal development gurus in the industry. You can even call in with your questions and much, much more. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 on 444 radio.
Evan, we've lived here 6 months and this bathroom still looks terrible. You're supposed to help me remodel it by now.
I know. You just know how busy I am, though.
Busy. We've got to get this done. If I can't do it because I don't have time and you don't have time, what are we going to do?
I know who to call.
Hello, my name is Stephen Dennis. I own a business here in town called Needaman2 LLC. My email address is needaman2@gmail.com. My number is 941-232-2776. Again, that's 941-232-2776.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
What a great idea.
How you doing? This is Chuck from the BS Show. I would like to tell you about a great company, Sarasota Sign Machine, LLC. the exclusive sign and print sponsor for 444 Radio. A sign of quality you can trust, located at 601 North Washington Boulevard, celebrating 6 years in business and over 20 years of experience in Sarasota. If you need signs, banners, vehicle magnets, custom design, neon repair, business cards, printing, and more, trust the Sarasota Sign Machine. Look, let's be honest, you have so much more to think about when running your own business. Call us at 941-302-4275. Check us out on Facebook or at sarasotasignmachine.com. A sign of quality you can trust. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
So, Evan, you want to make the other announcement? I know you're excited and happy.
We do have a fantastic new sponsor, absolutely. We are now very lucky to have Rico's Pizza as a sponsor for us. 6547 Gateway Avenue in Gulf Cape. They're open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. They've been there 17 years. Jump
anywhere.
online, ricospizza2go.com. Give them a phone call at 941-922-9604. We did find out today that you mentioned the 444 Radio or the BS show from 444 Radio. You will get 20% off your tab. Give them a phone call, guys, 941-922-9604. Or ricospizza2go.com.
Hello, this is Captain Sherman of Paradise Boat Tours, and if you're looking for a great adventure on our beautiful local waters, then we are the boat tour for you. Check out our website at seadolphins.com. We leave 7 days a week from Bradenton Beach Pier on beautiful Anna Maria Island. It's fun for the whole family, and yes, we see wild dolphin 95% of our tours. Paradise Boat Tours. Call us at 941-465-8624. Like us on Facebook or go to seadolphins.com. Here, Flipper.
Hey, this is Paulie from the BS Show. When I'm out and about, having too many, it happens to us all, there's only one cab service I call. It's my ride. 941-400-6606. No more 3-time surcharges. No more drivers that don't speak English, don't know where you're going. They pick you up. They take you home safely, clean cars. They're professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. And when you're riding with My Ride, don't forget to mention the BS Show, 20% off your ride. Chucky, on occasion, will have too much.
Not me, Paul.
These guys are the best. They're what you want to call. They will take care of you. 941-400-6606. My Ride. It's not your ride. It's not his ride.
My ride.
It's my ride.
Hey, guys. How we doing? This is Evan from the Bee and the Soup Bed Show. I'm here with Rita from J-Dub's Brewing Company, and we're in studio. How are we doing today, Rita?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. Hey, I know you have a fantastic brewery over there. Please tell me a little bit about it.
The brewery itself has a tasting room. It has 10 tap lines, so you can find anything that you want, from a light to a dark flavor.
So whatever you like, you can get it?
Absolutely. We got a flavor for you.
Perfect. Also, tell me a little bit about the beer garden I've been hearing so much about.
We got a big backyard out back. We're kid-friendly. We're dog-friendly, so you can come bring your family and friends and just have a good time, play some games, and drink some beer.
Excellent. And then you guys got food?
Absolutely. We got food trucks every day around 5 o'clock. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to midnight.
Excellent. Hey, I hear a rumor that you guys do something cool over there on Wednesdays.
We do. We have free yoga on Wednesday evening starting at 6:30. Come hang out and drink a beer and stretch it out.
That sounds like a great way to spend a Wednesday, I'll tell you. It's 1215 Mango Avenue, Sarasota, Florida, 941-955-2739. And what about social media?
Go to jdubsbrewing.com and you'll find everything right there.
You guys are by far the best brewery in town, and we're proud to have you guys as our sponsor. Come on out there, have a drink with us, and we'll sit around and have a good time.
Cheers, guys.
This is Chuck from the BS Show. I wanted to take some time to talk about a great charity organization, the Honor Flight. This organization flies our veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit those memorials dedicated to honor the service and sacrifices of themselves and their friends. Please come out and drink some beers at Hurricane Mike's on the last Saturday of every month from 1 to 6. Hurricane Mike's has a guest bartender at each event, 50-50 raffles, liquor baskets, and silent auctions. The bartenders even donate all the tips they make that day. Hurricane Mike's is located at 2639 Mall Drive in Gulf Gate. Last month, Hurricane Mike's raised over $1,100 for the Honor Flight. From everyone here at 444 Radio and Hurricane Mike's, we want to thank you for your support of our vets.
Gulfgate, Sarasota, it's time to eat, and there's only one place to go. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs, 2647 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Try the one-of-a-kind filet mignon sliders or the award-winning Reuben sandwich, voted best in the state of Florida. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs is open Monday through Saturday till 3 a.m. So after the bars close, you can get some of the best food in Sarasota. Call in and place your order today at 941-923-2514. That's 941-923-2514. Check them out online at hamheavenanddevildogs.webs.com or on facebook.com/HH&DD.
Welcome back, guys. This is the Brian Gould Show Sports Edition on 444 Radio. Guys, there are 5 undefeated teams left in the NFL, and their starting quarterbacks are as follows. Carson Wentz, Sam Bradford, Trevor Siemian, Joe Flacco, and Garoppolo/Brissett.
Flacco's been on my bench all year.
They were lucky to get a win the other day. They really were.
Well, what I want to talk about is this week, Philly's on a bye week, but they go into Carson Wentz. He's on a bye week this week, but their next game's at Detroit. Bradford's next game is against the Giants at home again on Monday night. Simeon faces Tampa at Tampa. Flacco hosts Oakland, and Brissett/Garoppolo hosts Buffalo. Who loses first? You have Wentz, Bradford, Simeon, Flacco, and we don't know yet for New England.
Well, watching those games looks like Flacco, because
Flacco plays host against Oakland.
They go Oakland.
Yeah,
that sounds.
But
that's very possible.
Yeah, and he also looks like the least confidence. I think he's playing not as well as the other guys. How about that?
Okay.
Not that he's playing bad, but
No.
not nearly as well as some of those other guys.
Right.
Did you say somebody comes into Tampa?
Yeah, Denver's at Tampa.
Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't see them losing to
No,
Tampa.
not Tampa.
I don't know,
And
man.
Denver's looking good, though. Tampa, I mean...
Tampa, it depends what Tampa team shows
that's
up.
right. Flash of brilliance.
Tampa likes to play good at home. They play good. Sometimes they play great, but they usually play
They
good.
just got blown out, 2 games ago?
In Arizona.
Were they
though.
in Arizona?
Yeah, that was a road game. So not to say that was expected, but that might have been expected.
And the running back's still going to be out, right?
Martin's status, I'm not sure. I can't speak on that. But again, Wentz goes on the road to Detroit in his next game.
I don't see them losing that. No offense to Detroit.
No, understood. Bradford takes on the Giants, and that's a home game.
That could go either way.
That's a Monday Night Football game.
Ooh, primetime?
Yeah.
Eli shines in primetime.
Bingo.
He does.
Yep. Simeon at Tampa, and then Flacco hosts Oakland, and then we don't know if it's going to be Garoppolo or Brissett for New England when they host Buffalo.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's Buffalo.
I don't know, man.
I know you're big on Buffalo still. I don't know how.
Buffalo
but
gives New England a hard time.
They
though.
do.
Yeah, I'm not saying Buffalo beat
I
them,
told you,
but they do
it's already
hang
in the
with them.
cards. Cleveland is going to upset New England
We do
when
kinda
Brady comes back week 5.
Prematurely do have that pick.
Now, Buffalo couldn't take out the Giant Jets, but they're going to go ahead and win that? Yeah, I don't think so.
They just wiped the floor with Arizona.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened there. That's my... That
Because
was
they
ridiculous,
they got the rah-rah. We already had a fired coach. Don't you guys love me? Have to win.
Yeah,
I'm fired.
and I think they've used every ounce of magic in that game, and they've used it all up. There's no way.
So what's the all right?
I think it's going to be Flacco.
We're all saying
going
Flacco
down.
loses to Oakland.
Or it could be
Seems
the
like-
Giants.
Yeah, I would say
beating,
1 and 2 in that order. Yeah.
Let's put it this way: Roethlisberger on my fantasy football league put up negative 1.2 points, and I'm going to play him over Flacco this week. How about that?
I'd agree with that decision.
Yeah. So we're saying at least right up front, Flacco's going to lose, and then possibly Bradford's the second guy on the list. We might see two of them go down this weekend?
No,
I could see that.
You know what? I think when it comes to New England, I think they actually might be number 2, just for the fact of they still do have very little.
It's a division game, so that automatically makes it more even.
Absolutely, and then they don't have the experience. So, and you can't. It's very tough to think that you can have such young guys win every game. You know,
eventually, you're gonna come up for a loss. You're due for.
I think as much as I think Denver's a better team, if they get in the head of the young quarterback and they start rushing him a little bit, and he starts hearing, even if it's slow footsteps, he starts hearing footsteps occasionally. That can totally change the game, no matter how good your offensive line is.
Let me pull up the lines here.
I think it's a different Denver team than what people are used to seeing. Last year with Manning behind the helm, yeah. This year, I don't know.
I mean, right now, if we go based on Vegas odds here,
plus Patriots are on such a roll.
Vikings are a 4-point favorite at home against the Giants on Monday night. Kind of no surprise there, considering their defense has been pretty dynamic and stellar. Tampa is a 3-point underdog at home, so that says something there. They do like Tampa at home a little bit better. Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite at home. I don't know if I agree with that.
They're at home.
Yeah, I guess I'll give them that because of that, but I think Oakland gives them a run for their money anyways. Let's see here. Who am I missing here? The Garoppolo-Brissett matchup.
The Broncos, they're giving up 3 points.
Yeah.
At Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm. I don't see this New England game anywhere. Why not? Am I missing it? New England, where are you?
Are they on a bye?
No.
Colts, Titans. Yeah, I don't have them either, buddy. Yeah, Bills, Patriots. There is no line.
That's why I don't see it
There's
on
no
here.
over-under at all either.
Nothing available yet. So
they don't know.
that's based on we don't know who's starting quarterback.
That's right.
Okay, that's what I would assume at that
Same
point.
thing at the Jets. You got the Seahawks, Jets. Nothing there either.
Yeah. Well, because Wilson had a bum ankle too. So
Right.
before you start making a line and then find out Wilson is not playing, and then people
Bet heavy on it.
Yeah, bet that and empty out Vegas's pocket on that game. I don't blame them. So all right, well, I agree with all that too. I think of the 5 names that are up there, definitely Flacco stands a chance at losing before anybody else. Go over my power rankings real fast here, taking it from the top to the bottom. I've got Denver at 1, still the champ, still undefeated. Can't remove them.
And looking good.
And still looking pretty dang good.
That's another second half is going to be a little rougher than the first with the new quarterback.
Yep. Number 2, I have New England moving up. Their defense has gotten better, and Brady's coming back soon.
Hey, did you let Brian know, Evan, that this is his last week on the show?
It's just a power ranking, and I'm not saying they're the best. It's just team for team.
No, you said they're the second best.
Second best. There you go. Number 3, Minnesota, another defensive-minded team.
I'll tell you,
that is
their
doing very well and early.
Their defense is looking pretty
very
stout.
early in the season. Number 4, I have Philly. They showed us something against the Steelers that they're good.
Can't argue that.
Number 5, Pittsburgh. Yes, they took it on the chin.
Oh, come
Hold
on.
Yes, they took it on the chin in Week 3, but they'll bounce back. They'll shake off the loss. They're still a good team. I still think that they're better
They
than...
lost by 31 points.
They took it on the chin.
They
They'll shake
also
it
had
off.
7. They also had 7 sacks, 2 interceptions. Oh, two fumbles and an interception.
And
no touchdowns.
Didn't we say something yesterday about having that one game
Right.
that you just puke and vomit
yeah, but
all
you
over?
got a drop right there at that point. That's
Yeah, they did. They did.
From what?
I had them up 3, I think,
to
last
5.
Yeah.
After losing by 31.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the points. They're still a good team.
I get you. If you want to keep them in the top 10, fine, but come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them up that high.
Yeah, I know, but they're still a good team.
I need-
They're still a good team.
I need the rapist.
Really?
as well.
Because you go in the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately? And lately they lost by 31.
Well,
So you're putting them above some of the undefeated
don't criticize
teams.
and don't ask
He is.
questions. Just leave
He
it
is.
alone. It's what it is. I've got Baltimore at 6, coming out of out of nowhere. They're unbeaten, and they'll have a good test against Oakland this week. 7, I have Green Bay. They snuck away with a win against rival Detroit. They're sitting at 2-1, but they still need a really good offensive turnout to
Aaron Rodgers
show us something.
heard that he was past his prime on the show.
That's
and
right.
Said,
Yeah.
Let me show you. Let me throw 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Boy,
and
we're
show you
like,
how past my prime I am.
I was like, really? The guy's had a couple bad games? Well, okay.
I still don't like the guy.
I said he was going to light it up this weekend, too.
And he did. Number 8, Dallas. They make the top 10 for the first time here. They're sitting at 2-1. Dak looks good. And
Do you have all the undefeateds in the top 10 or no?
Yes. No, I don't think I do, actually.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me see. Da-da-da.
I quit your show again. Ridiculous.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Dallas at 8. Kansas City at 9. With the smackdown they just put down on the Jets, that helps them jump in.
It's the Jets, dude.
Fitzpatrick threw 6 interceptions.
Yep.
He's back to his old Bills self.
Bingo.
Makes me very happy.
And number 10, I have Seattle squeaking in at the 10th spot. Not much to say, but
it's just name.
They'll just show us. Yeah, exactly. They'll show us who they are coming up this weekend.
I
Honorable mentions: Cincy, Arizona, and Oakland. All 3 sitting at 1 and 2. One of them's gonna.
See, I know what he's doing. He didn't put Oakland in the ratings, and he ranked up who they're playing so high this week. So when Oakland wins, he can be like, "Well, I didn't even have. They weren't even ranked.
Top 10,
Philly,
and now they're 3 because they beat this team.
Minnesota.
I know what you're doing. I'm on to you.
Denver, Baltimore, and I've got all 5 undefeateds in my top 10.
All right,
I do.
I'm a little less angry.
Yeah,
with you.
and for the Pittsburgh argument, is Pittsburgh not a better team than Kansas City?
Yes.
Are they not better than Dallas?
Actually, you know
Well,
what?
I don't know.
I don't know about
here's
that.
Here's
Dallas,
the
I
thing.
don't know now.
Are they better than
Here's
Green
the
Bay?
thing. Since if you're talking about
No.
through Sunday, I would actually have Kansas City in front of Pittsburgh
As a better team, if they
because
were to play
Pittsburgh just let a
tomorrow.
rookie quarterback destroy them while Kansas City put the thumping on.
Right.
And they both have the same record, so you know what you're saying. I'm saying,
Right.
So what have you done for me lately? And lately, Kansas City just got that ass.
I
They're
think
just coming off a win.
Pittsburgh
Yep, I
had
hear
a
you.
Pittsburgh had a horrible game.
It was a rookie quarterback, though, Evan.
They had a horrible game. Well, you know what?
Which
though?
for the week, this isn't the playoffs. So for
Right.
the week, I'm saying if you're just counting power rankings up through yesterday,
Right.
then right now Kansas City's the better team.
when your defense, you fall into the quicksand you did. You end up with seven sacks. You drop the ball every time you've got it. You've got no touchdowns. It's very easy for that rookie to feel comfortable, and everybody start feeling good, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Well,
still a W. That says
still happened.
Still a loss for them.
It's going to be a really good week, I think, this week in football. Some pretty decent games.
I think Kansas City's in deep trouble this week.
They've got a tough game against Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh.
I guess we're gonna settle this week.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
Let's see how Pittsburgh bounces back.
Exactly.
I
They'll
think-
shake the loss off.
See, it's in Pittsburgh, so theoretically Pittsburgh should win this game.
I can't remember
by 7.
When's the last time the rapist had such a bad game?
It's
it
been
hasn't
a
since he found himself in court.
time.
So I'm thinking that he's going to come out. He's going to come out, and it's going to be on fire. I'm going to double down.
Well,
on
you're
him.
hoping for your fantasy team.
I'm going to double down on him that he's going to come out and kill it this week.
You don't want to lose again in fantasy.
Unreal.
Gotcha. Negative points.
Negative points.
Negative points.
Negative points. I've never heard of that with a quarterback before.
Oh no, it happens.
Yeah, apparently, to the rapist.
Accused.
Multiple.
But let's just be
multiple.
It's all alleged, right?
Multiple times.
Alleged.
That's right. OJ was accused
More
also.
innocent.
Murdoch just stepped into the studio here. We got to find him a headset.
I know. We got to get him a headset.
What's this one here looking like?
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
Absolutely.
There we go.
You can have Chucks.
Chuckity chuck chuck.
Oh, you know what though? This is battery powered. I don't know if the batteries are charged.
We'll find out real quick.
How you doing, Captain Murdoch?
Let's see. Hold on.
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
Hey,
all right.
they're dead, Evan.
They're dead. Son of a.
Hey,
Give me a second.
those Browns almost upset.
You know.
You could still talk in, and you
Yeah,
just
still
hear
not
us. You just hear us on the outside.
We'll get you some. We'll get you some
I thought
headphones.
about you, Joe, for just a quick second on Sunday.
Yeah, we got to flip
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Gotcha.
I got it.
Gotcha.
Every time they miss those field goals, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Just for a quick second.
Just for a quick second.
Quick second. Cleveland channeled their inner Bernie Kosar and
They should have won that game. They should have won that game.
No, they should have been destroyed.
yeah, I don't know that to be true or accurate information,
When
Joe.
They had
When
it
you
won.
missed, they had it won.
They had an opportunity to win it.
Right.
I had an opportunity to win a foot race once when everybody fell down, but That didn't happen.
They got back up, apparently.
Yeah, they did.
I know that feeling.
Just covered my power rankings for this week, and everyone vomits in their mouth. Yeah, everyone vomits in their mouth.
You'd have been yelling at him just like me.
Yeah, I get it.
Your power ratings?
Yeah.
Look, can I guess? I didn't hear. So.
Oh yes. Oh, can we let him, please?
Okay.
Sure.
Are they not working?
No, I didn't hear anything.
All right.
No, 0.
All right. We got you.
So your power ratings, give me
take top 3. Just go 1 through 3.
top 3. Minnesota Vikings.
They were 3rd.
And your Oakland won. They're top 6.
They're not in the top 10. Honorable mention.
Wow.
They did not win.
Okay.
I'll tell you why after,
did
though.
win.
I know what
Right.
his plan is.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos, to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. They're number 1.
There you go.
And Minnesota is shaking a little something on defense. They're number 3. Number 2 is... Oh, gosh.
It's not that hard. Don't overlook it.
Green Bay.
No. New England at 2.
New England?
Yes. 3-0.
There you
Sorry,
go.
man.
Well, I got 2 out of the 3.
Yep. 3-0. It is what it is. Anyways.
It is garbage is what it is.
Oh, fine. That's why it's mine and not yours. And if you were to rank them according to you wanted them, you'd have the damn Gators in there some unethically defiable way. So, again, it's best teams, not necessarily best records, but the best teams on paper and so on and so forth. Moving on to MLB, some Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Wild card is heating up. Last night, the Cubs clinched their 100th win on the season. They haven't done that since 1935.
Really?
Yep. First time they hit 100 wins in a season since 1935.
Now, here's a question. When's the last time they won a series?
Yeah.
That doesn't look good for
Couldn't tell you that.
1935.
They beat Pittsburgh 12-2 last night. Washington wins over Arizona 14-4. Dodgers win 4-3. All 3 divisional leaders have clinched their divisions. The Mets lose last night to Miami. Very emotional game there.
Did you think they even had a chance? I mean, this is sometimes there's nothing. No matter what happens, they could have gone unarmed. They're going to lose that game.
That was difficult.
Yep.
D. Gordon's about crying
as he's rounding third.
You know,
he's starting to huff and puff and weep.
It's his first home run of the year.
Yes, it was.
You know, it was something.
Man, San Francisco loses to San Diego. You've got St. Louis. They've lost 2 in a row, and they're out on the outside looking in. They're 2 games out of the wild card. Guys, Miami is 4 games out with 9 days left.
I'd like to see him win it.
I know, and Murdoch just looked at me. Man, do you not see?
Hang on one second.
You see where I'm going with this?
1 second, okay? Yes, winning a game because of something horrible, that does happen. To make up 4 games in 9 games,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Just like the Giants winning the Super Bowl right after 9/11, the whole New York thing.
That's 1 game.
New Orleans wins the Super Bowl right after Hurricane such and
that's
come on.
1 game.
You are saying that it's not too far-fetched. It's not too far gone that a team can rally around a horrible accident like this with a handful of games to go to win one for their ace, to win one for the city,
just to get into the playoffs.
But
St. Louis loses, San Francisco is not far. You know,
but that would make more with that. That's so many games.
Come on,
that'd be more like
I'm just
the Saints winning the
guys,
whole thing that year.
I'm just bringing it to the table. It's food for thought because next week when we have this talk and
we
I
can
say
all dream big dreams.
Miami's a half game out of the. You know, I'm just bringing it up.
I think other teams would have to just collapse.
And it's happening because all these teams are playing each other now. Now, over in the American League, Boston clinches, Cleveland clinches,
Tell me
Texas
Miami
clinches.
plays the Mets to the final stretch, just like not.
No,
the
we're
Mets
playing
out.
right now.
They're playing now,
Oh, sorry,
and they beat the Mets
They
last
beat us
night.
last night. That's what I'm saying. 1 game's one thing.
Everybody.
Toronto and Baltimore tip off a 4-game series tonight. They're both in the wild card spots. The last 2, Detroit's 2 games out. They're playing Cleveland. Toronto and Baltimore, what Detroit needs is one of those 2 teams to sweep the other one so that Detroit wins and squeaks into the wild card hunt there. And Seattle has come out of nowhere and ripped off 5 out of their last 5.
And they ripped off 9 in a row 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So they're going about it.
They're hot right now. Mm-hmm. But again, just putting it out there, 9 days to go, and Miami's only 4 games out with this emotional.
It would be a storybook story.
Would it?
For every media outlet in America.
It's a fun sports story.
It'd make for a great movie.
It would. I mean, this lost an ace that had an ERA of 2.5. So I mean, it'd be a fun story. It's
and just, I mean, with we what the hell is this thing doing? We've got I've got Miami tonight, Miami tomorrow.
It didn't bounce.
And then we go to Philly. So, and we just took Philly out a couple days ago, right? So
it's going to be Miami versus the Mets in the wild card for that one game, and then Miami's going to beat the Mets.
That would be something.
I don't care who we play in that final game. At this point, I just want it to be Miami because now all of a sudden that's one game, and that's not what I want.
No. Well, and breaking news out of ESPN, a guy walking the beach finds a bag of autographed baseballs by Jose Fernandez washed up on shore.
How much do you think that's worth at this point?
Jeez,
it belonged to one of the guys in the boat that he gave. It was a black bag. If you're reading that same story that washed up, he gave it to a lifeguard. The lifeguard called the cops and gave it to them. It was a benefit or something that he had given the balls to his buddy, one of the guys on the boat.
The guy gave the balls away?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Jose gave a bag of signed balls.
I know that.
Yeah,
no, the guy who found it.
That's.
I'd be like, I am not giving that. Really? I don't think
doubt.
so.
His last balls he autographed. That's
it.
Talk about you hate to talk about that out loud, but that's the reality. I mean, he's not going to donate that to the Better Hopes and Gardens of Miami.
You got to live with that. End of the day. I mean, if I found it, right away our first reaction is like, why in the hell would you give that up? And it's worth this, it's worth that. Do you really want to make money off of a dude that just signed those balls? Who knows how many hours before he died?
I mean, a tragedy doesn't mean that it's a tragedy, and the tragedy does not dictate that I do something noble and self-thoughtless to give it to an organization or to a fund. I'm going to give it to the Murdoch Foundation and go take a vacation with it. That's.
I mean, end of the day, I'm superstitious and big believer in karma, man. And I would not want to be in possession of that. I do not want that haunting me.
What is this, an episode of the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
Are we in Hawaii?
Bunch? What are you talking about? Brady Bunch?
The tiki necklace, remember?
Yeah, I do.
That. No. Come on. Get real. Are you that young? I guess he might be.
No, I just missed that episode.
Here's what it is. If you want to feel good about yourself, you sell the balls and give half to something.
Do something like that.
All right? And I think that's what you were just saying,
yeah,
right?
That's what you can do.
So, absolutely. There's no way in hell you would have to pry those balls out of my dead hand.
And that's how you would paint that. I would go into a conference and say, I have donated $10,000 to the unfortunate Cuban-American organization of your,
the unfortunate Cuban Americans of America.
And as bad as this sounds, you give $10,000 of that money to that foundation or whatever. But that's just paying 2 people's salary for the month. I'm sorry.
I'm not telling them the money that I made. I'm showing them the money that I'm giving, and that looks like a big deal. If I came in here and said, "Hey, man, I got 6 pizzas for you guys," he'd be like, "Man, that's pretty awesome." You don't know that I have 20 of them in my trunk,
right?
But because you would look at me different because I only gave you 6. Why'd you only give me 6? Bring in half. No, man, I'm going to bring you a couple.
Here's what I would do. I would keep 1 ball. The rest, I would.
And you don't even know if he did or did not.
Yeah.
But here's what my thing is. If you do keep one of those balls, you have to get that documented first to make sure that you know what it is.
DNA. Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that's got to be done first. So even if you do that, it's too quick. It's not like it's a bag of money that was obviously stolen from someone. This is something that is now, and it falls under salvage for shipwrecks, right? And first, finders keepers, right?
Finders keepers.
I mean, I didn't make
around
the rules.
here, yeah. Around here it would.
So I'm like, if it would have been a bag of gold, you gonna give that to somebody? I don't think so.
No, then someone has X amount of days to claim it.
And the guy that found it is a good guy. Yeah. The guy that found it has some morals.
Mad kudos for that.
One of my fantasy football teams is morally gray. I'm morally gray at best on most of the days I breathe. So the other guy's better than me. Good for him.
I don't know. I
admire him.
I don't think you give those up. I think you have them checked. You make sure you get it done, and then you sell them off.
It is what it is. If you
donate.
find a bag of baseballs on the shoreline right after this happens, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Okay, Brian, you go to a garage sale this weekend.
That's right.
And you find a bag, a leather bag that's 50 years old, a golf bag. And you pull out those clubs and you realize that those are Arnold Palmer's first set.
That's right.
And the bag's autographed. To John. Thanks a bunch, Arnie. Now, are you going to contact the golf association and say, you know what, guys?
I need this.
I want to give this to somebody else. Now, one's a tragedy and one's just a guy that's had a lot of birthdays.
Yeah. Right.
So maybe the glass is stained a little bit on one set. Fair enough. But, I mean, really, what would you do? Would you keep it because it was a death and not a death?
Well, I found it at a garage sale, so I'm going to keep it. But if I'm walking a beach...
At that point, you paid for it.
Yeah. If I'm walking the beach and I find a bag with Jose Fernandez's autograph all over a couple of baseballs, I'm going to look at that and be like, dude, this is this guy's one of the last things he did on this earth.
How about this?
What if
you up this? What if he had a World Series ring and it washed up on the side? Ooh.
Yeah.
How about that?
You have to give that to his wife.
Yeah, well, girlfriend and his
do
family.
Jack North crap.
Yeah, they're not even married.
I am willing to give the ring back to you. I just need compensation for it.
Yeah. I have lost in this too.
A finder's fee,
if you will.
Right? Now, I know this does not go to the same thing. It's not even the same level. But I went and I have a problem with taking people's money that you're not supposed to take. As much as I would like to say I would just keep it all, I went and got some food on the way home yesterday, and I went through the drive-thru, and I handed her a $20 bill, and she handed me back change for a $50. So I ended up back with like $42 or something, like $43. And I'm like, sweetie, what is this? She's like, what? I'm like, you gave me back way too much money. She's like, but you gave me $50. I'm like, no, sweetie, I gave you $20.
I've done that before. I've been given back too much, and I'm like, hey, your drawer's going to be off. Why is that? Because you gave me change for a 20, and I gave you a 10.
You've heard that phrase, is there no honor amongst thieves?
That's right.
That's where my morality is certainly sound.
But here's the thing. I'm not a thief. They accidentally gave it to me.
I couldn't ever take money that I didn't have before that.
Right.
If I see you drop something, I can't take that.
I know.
If there's a wallet with money in it, I worked at a movie theater. I worked at a mall. We've seen enough of it, and some people can and sleep like a baby at night, and I'm just not wired for that. I don't think anybody here is.
And it's not even that. It's not even like the money. If it was the bank's money, I don't have a problem with that, with the exception of depends on how you got it. If I walk out and there's a bag, that's different. But the teller giving it to you, they're going to have to pay for it.
They're going to have to pay for that.
I'm stealing it from them.
It's an honest mistake.
You got some guy's wallet with $200 in it. That's his whole paycheck for 2 weeks for groceries and lights.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What kind of scumbag are you really?
Right. But that ain't a bag of balls.
No, it isn't, sir.
Now, let me ask you this. Have those balls been not authenticated? But
you can't do that.
Does the story match up is what I'm trying to say. Who's to say some schmuck didn't just take a bag or call in with the story?
Well, that's actually going to be a real easy fix because you'll be able to check the signatures.
They'll check it, yeah.
They will. They're
You find 9 balls in there, and all 9 are real signatures.
If they found them today, I'm sure they haven't gone through that process that fast.
So the whole story could be a hoax.
It could be.
Some guy trying to capitalize on somebody's death.
It could be.
So,
I find his World Series ring on the side. I keep it. And this is also me to not taking money from the person at a drive-through window is a lot different than me keeping some balls from, unfortunately, someone who just died who was a millionaire.
Okay, Evan, how about the kid who hits his first home run? Vince Scully calls his last game 2 days ago.
Right.
That was an epic game. I'm going to use epic for the second time this week because that's what that game was.
Right.
To call that game.
And it was a walk-off, right?
And in the bottom of the 9th inning, they're down 1 run. They rake, and they tie it. And the kid who hits his first home run of his career hits it in the bottom of the 9th in Vince's last game that he's ever going to announce. The person that grabs that ball, I get that ball. One, that if you were to get a ball from a player and it's their first home run or something significant or significant, you ask and you get what you want from that organization.
Right.
Sometimes, and depending on the McGuire and the Barry Bonds, that's lifetime seats at the baseball games for number 72.
Right.
You know, it's a big deal. Now, this isn't such a big deal, but you contact the organization, say, you know what, I've got Jimmy Jones' ball. It's his first autograph. That's good for a team bat at the least.
Mhm.
An autographed team bat, maybe a jersey.
Right.
And that's a deal you do every day. Now, this is Vince's last game that he called. It's the bottom of the ninth. It was to win, and it was to win the division.
Right.
I mean, you get to have a ball in your hand that Vince was the last one to call that game, and it was so significant.
The history on that ball is
what
ridiculous.
now? What can you ask for that? I'm not going to walk down there and say, "Hey, Vince, you know what, man? You were a great announcer," and because I do. I enjoyed listening to the guy like everybody here did. He would paint a picture while he talked. You know, that was what he did. I'm not going to give it to him and say, "Thanks for the memories, buddy." I'm going to say, hey, you know what, man? Let's work something out. I mean, you've got pull. How about I get tickets to playoffs, you know, when you make it? How about I get this? He's got it like that, so he loses nothing and he gets something important to him.
Right.
Does that make me a scumbag? Certainly not.
No, not at all.
Jeter's 3,000th hit, I think, still hasn't been...
If I had thought about this before coming into the studio, I would have researched this, and you'd find out what they get in return for these things. It would applaud you. It would make you shake your head what they give out.
Yeah. Baseball fans and football fans, make sure you go to fandaction.com, do the daily fantasy over there. Play against Pete Rose and Pete Rose's picks. I've won 1 out of the last 9 attempts.
1 out of 9?
Yeah. Are
you just that horrible?
He's on it, man.
Yeah, I
the
think you're
dude
just
is
that bad.
lights out. I am that bad, but he's that good, man. It's hard. Fandaction.com. You can find a direct link and banner right off my website. BrianGouldShow.com, you fantasy baseball players.
Mr. Gould, you and I have a point of interest, other than the Nana Boo Boo, I told you so, about the Atlanta-New Orleans
That's
over.
Old news. We already discussed that.
Okay, super. Well, I didn't.
You missed.
But we, Ed and I made a team last night. We made a DraftKings team, and it's for Monday and Thursday only. We make some picks as we're having our dinner. We have Matty Ice. We have Coleman. We have Hill from Cincinnati. We have Kobe Fleener. We have Michael Thomas. We have a few other people, and Atlanta's defense. Now, Ed gets the phone, and he's the last one to make the pick. It's 8-something. The game's about to start. And that's that. We start to watch the game, and I go to look, and because now Coleman scored, and Fleener's starting to pick up. I'm like, man, this is pretty sweet. Let's go take a look.
3 touchdowns for Coleman, right?
Yeah.
The contest was never entered because a number of contestants had maxed, and it didn't kick us into another tournament.
Oh.
So after the fact, Kobe Fleener has the game of his career. Coleman scores once, twice, 3 touchdowns in daily fantasy, which is bananas.
Yeah.
Matty Ice goes crazy. Atlanta goes pick 6.
Right.
I'm almost over it now. It's just a game. God bless him. It was enough to make you sick in the evening time.
Did you put money on that?
Yeah. It was a $5 entry.
He didn't get a chance to because it...
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you tried to.
It would have been, yes.
Why didn't it take it?
Too many players.
There was too many. Out. When I instigated the contest, there was still room, but because we took our time with it and we didn't enter the contest quick enough, the allowance was capped.
The entries filled up while he was making his picks.
Oh, because so they make like a little league. They make 16 people for each
That's
one.
That's right. So there's 10,000 entries.
Okay.
You should jump in there and play one.
It's
night.
a lot of fun.
Play one of the free ones. You could still win.
Isn't that right, Brian? The fun one, the free ones are fun if you don't play. Joe, I don't know if you're familiar with it, or Jay.
Oh, right, you're getting used to how to play properly?
Right.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's like trading on paper, with stocks.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely the way to go. You're looking at and this helps your fantasy football as well, and it's helped me. You look and forecast. You have a cap. I'm sorry, Brian, if this is eating in on your time, but
no.
The all of these, FanDuel, probably Pete's deal that he's got going on.
Fandaction.com.
They have a cap. you have a certain amount of money that you can spend. So if you want to go get Cam this weekend, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
But you have to go dumpster dive somewhere else or find the value. I call it dumpster diving.
They give you say $50,000 to play with.
Right.
But Cam's worth $15,000.
Right.
So
but you need to still field the whole team.
You do have to field the whole team.
So you need to find somebody who's only $800.
Correct. That's right. That's the concept.
To offset it, yes.
And so in doing so...
So they make it more like a real team.
Yeah,
Just,
Brandon
different
Cooks
money.
last night, and everybody on Julio Jones, and there's only in the contest I played, there was only 4 teams that you can pick from. So there's 2 games, the Monday and the Thursday. So you're really thin on your selections. So if you go out and you sack up and you take Michael Thomas, who scores, that's worth a lot to you because only 11% of the entries had Michael Thomas. If you pick a Jahi this weekend, no Arian Foster against Cincinnati, the chances of him playing and leading the Miami in touches are pretty sound. You really want to sack up, you go take Drake on your team, who is $3,000 instead of D'Angelo Williams, who's $9,000. And heaven forbid Drake gets in or has a score, now you can really own it because it's the points per dollar. To get Julio Jones is $9,000. Antonio Brown is $8,000.
Right.
Tyrell Williams for San Diego is $3,300.
Right.
So what can you do with that $6,000 difference? I go hulk up on a few spots, and I find those guys who are going to play this weekend who normally do not have a role.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find it really inviting.
And you know what though? But that's like if you get the Arizona game this last week, they got destroyed. They should have never got destroyed. But if you would have taken the other defense, you would have been probably able to get it because they're horrible. For like a couple hundred, for
That's
like
right.
$800.
That's correct.
But now they shut them down, so the value for that money is exponential for the points.
Mm-hmm. The free advice that comes with the fortune cookie today is that usually when you have a bad team, Oakland and Tennessee, those defenses were not the ones to take. It wasn't San Diego and Indianapolis this last weekend because last night, if you had played Atlanta or New Orleans in the rest of the teams, a regular contest that had all 13 games, you're not playing Arizona, or you're not playing New Orleans or Atlanta's defense because they can't spell defense. Mm-hmm. So you're going to look for something else that has an opportunity. I took Miami, and you can see my reasoning. I had a third-string quarterback coming into Miami.
Right.
So Miami was the bottom of the third as value, so I buy Miami at $2,800 instead of paying $3,800 for Arizona.
Right.
Now that $1,000 turns Tyrell Williams into Stephon Diggs.
Right.
So you'll find it, man. You'll like it a lot.
Yeah,
and you can make a contest for your listeners as well.
Great. Go hit them up. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'll look into that contest thing. I got to definitely get some more participation out of that field.
Yeah, you could put something together, Brian, for maybe for something. You know, the winner gets whatever it is.
Go to fan the letter D action.com. Sign up there. It's free to play. They have first half and second half for you football fans.
That's the one that Pete does?
Pete does.
No,
yeah.
it's fan D
action.com.
I bet he'd put together a league. Does he have that available? I have not.
I have full access to do all of that myself.
You put together a league of 50 or 100 entries.
Yep. Yeah, we'll put something together. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that off air.
That's cool.
Moving on to some MMA news. UFC President Dana White announced yesterday that Conor McGregor will take on will challenge Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight title at UFC 205 in November at Madison Square Garden. This is going to be a really good fight.
So he has to drop weight. McGregor has to drop weight.
Right now, he'll have to drop weight.
Is his power going to go to...
Now, technically, in the weight class...
before you get into this one thing, does it upset you that every time you hear stuff, they're like, this is never going to happen, this is never going to happen, 1 week later, every time, or 2 weeks later, it's always just crap, and they go ahead and do it, and it's always because of the money? Doesn't that upset you?
Who are you talking about?
Like McGregor was supposed to never, he's going to have to sit around.
He was going to fight Diaz,
right.
But yeah, no, okay, well, he shifted gears and took this fight because it's the headline main event, okay?
Right.
McGregor technically is a featherweight, so technically he weighs less than Alvarez. But where he's standing right now, because he moved up in weight to fight Diaz, yes, he's got to drop weight to make this. So on his way down, getting back to featherweight, he's taking on lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez.
So he'll actually fight in a weight lower
than what he is now, but where he technically stands, it's
compatible.
actually
Right.
up. So for the lightweight title, so you could actually walk away and be holding 2 belts here pretty damn quick.
And he'll be, I think, the third person in history to win a belt in
multiple weight classes. Yeah.
BJ Penn,
Couture,
and
I forget who the other one was. Yeah, Tyron Woodley will be making his first title defense at the welterweight. He's co-main. And we've got some 2 new young bloods in there that I like to see this, and you guys kind of crap all over it. But
CM Punk?
No, the strawweight division features 2 Polish women fighters for the first time going at it, and one of them is really good. Joanna, I'm trying to remember her last name, Jadrzejczyk, and she's a pretty damn good fighter. If you guys haven't watched that, man, the women are quick, they're fast. And they're violent. Like you watch girl fights on YouTube. Now take that, put gloves on them, and make it sanctioned, and you see fast, good fights. She'll be taking on Carolina Kovacevic, and both again are Polish. They're strong. They're very European, and that'll be a really good knockout dragout fight.
Is the weight classes the same in MMA as it is in my boxing? in boxing, is it the same?
It's similar.
126 to
5s. They go to 5s. It's similar.
Okay, so a featherweight in MMA is just a different number.
A different number.
Okay,
correct. You can find the full card on my website, BrianGouldShow.com. Click the tab, and you can see some of the backstage coverage at Madison Square Garden. They're doing a little press thing tonight at 6. You can see that live feed on my website, BrianGouldShow.com, for you MMA fans.
Is McGregor going to be there? Because McGregor
No. This
press.
is just a UFC thing showing how they're going to set up the octagon and just backstage and build up for this. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with the fighters. Just a UFC and MSG thing.
Do we see the McGregor that trash talks all the time?
Oh yeah, no, he's got a shot at taking a title off of Eddie Alvarez. Alvarez is a really good fighter. He's 28-4. Of course, McGregor, 20-3. It's going to be a good, violent, physical fight between these two.
If I was McGregor, I'd concentrate more on the fight and less on ripping the WWE people.
At this point, he needs to, because McGregor's takedown is very, very good, but Alvarez has the second best takedown defense besides Brock Lesnar in the history of the UFC. He's at 93%.
I mean, openly, I admit I just don't watch a lot of the sport. Is that the biggest venue that they've been to? MSG is a big deal.
It's a big deal because they haven't been able to get in there because
that's a big deal.
New York wouldn't recognize it as a sport.
Correct.
They thought it was too violent. So now this is their first event in a real
50,000 people
in a real stadium, more or less.
You can put 25,000 people in there.
Yeah,
and
then you've got floor space.
Have you been before? Have you
never been
heard
to New
of
York.
One that has had that big of an audience?
They do very well in Brazil. They do very well in when they go to the UK. They pull numbers like that.
Do you think they could fill that? Do you think they could put 25,000 seats?
They won't have enough room.
I don't know if this card.
What's
is
the
strong
difference
enough.
between you and I going to watching the Knicks, and along with 18,000 people, and watching an MMA fight?
Well, the octagon takes up so much floor space, and then you can put seats around it on the floor. So they'll fill up the bleachers, and then they've got floor space, so they'll put another 2,000 chairs.
I see that they could put more than a basketball game.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not an engineer.
No. I'm saying, yeah, exactly. They're going to surpass a basketball game like no tomorrow. Yeah, because of the space on the floor.
Everything on the floor is bonus.
Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
If I was going into Madison Square Garden for the first time, I'd make the strongest card possible.
Take a look.
The card's not.
Oh, Debbie Downer over here, man.
I'm being realistic.
I'm going to show you what a reverse chokehold looks like.
Hogan said that he got right. He got a chiz when he had all those people that were cheering his name. Where was that, in Toronto or in Ontario?
Toronto loves Hogan.
Yeah,
Big
maybe
time.
I know a little about wrestling.
Now, here's my question. This is going to be the first fight in Madison Square Garden?
Yes, for them.
I thought it was
They don't believe in that nonsense.
It was a few weeks ago. I thought it was a few months ago.
They finally got it passed. The law is passed for them to do it.
I thought they did. I thought it was a big one.
Now they did an underground.
200 was a big one.
Wasn't 200 supposed to be done there?
No.
Oh,
that's when they got it approved, roughly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now they did do like UFC 5 or 6 in the state of New York, but it was underground and recorded and then released on VHS tape back then. So is it their first time there technically in the state of New York? No, but legally, yes, it is.
Now, what do you think? What do you think boxers think about that?
I'm sure.
I was just thinking about that over here.
Sure, they're not happy.
It's like Starbucks going up to Connecticut and Rhode Island and putting a Starbucks on every corner instead of Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
It's almost sacrilegious.
Actually, I think it might even be bigger than that. I would say probably, God, it's got to be even bigger than that because you're talking about the mecca of boxing.
Yes, sir. That's the birthplace.
That's like going to the Wailing Wall and putting graffiti on it.
That's like the WWE hosting a show in my building the night before my charity event.
Yeah.
And saying, here's my sack,
how
scratch and sniff.
How was that?
Yes, because they can.
No, exactly what I was thinking, Evan. That was.
And didn't they just run there again last weekend, Joe?
Could you imagine that? You know, Pepsi-Cola University selling Coke on the oh man, this is the birthplace. I mean, the Bronx, Crooklyn. You know, it's right there. Everything that came up from the ground, the Hearns and the it's sacrilegious.
The card's pretty sound. Rashard Evans is fighting on it.
He's past his prime.
Oh, can you just give me 2 seconds to get through this? You Debbie Downer.
Last time you guys said someone was past their prime on their show, they threw 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Keep saying that.
I'm just saying.
Misha Tate's fighting on the card against Raquel Pennington.
Today's Strong Play is brought to you by
exactly
Jay and Evan.
Rashad Evans is taking on Tim Kennedy. That'll be a good fight. Jim Miller against Thiago Alves. That's another good fight. Frankie Edgar against Jeremy Stevens. You need to go watch some MMA. A nose that big, you need a couple of dump trucks backed up to
Frankie
plug
Edgar.
it. Yeah.
I like Frankie Edgar.
Oh, a name you know. Now you like it. Never mind.
You said Misha Tate's won it too?
Yes.
Then it's a halfway decent card.
Chris Weidman's fighting.
Okay, it's a good card, man.
It's not bad. Is it phenomenal? Is it UFC 200, 201 quality? No, but it's what they can scrape together in 3 months. It's definitely not bad.
Well, all you announced really was the
because I didn't get a chance to finish
the Polish women.
The Polish women, yeah, that's a title.
Poles.
That's a title fight, along with the other title fight.
Okay.
Another major wrestler has taken the attempt to leap from pro wrestling to MMA.
Oh, I thought you were going to say die.
I think I know who.
A 34-year-old, 6'2", 290-pound muscular heavyweight has been in talks with Bellator. And although they're not close to a deal, Bellator CEO Scott Coker said they've spoke, but nothing close yet. And yes, it's Ryback. Now, Ryback would enter the heavyweight division with his size and stature. And I'm combing through Bellator's heavyweight division here. You've got the likes of Day 5000.
Dada.
Yeah, Dada. And he's,
Day.
And I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
He used to call the MMA show we had here all the time.
Yeah.
All your kids call you Dada, don't they?
He a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
Here's my...
that
how do you do that? Don't you have to have a couple of fights before you go into that?
You should. I mean, you've got Cheek Congo, Bobby Lashley, Matt Mitrione, Ken Shamrock's in that division. They still have Kimbo.
Oh, my God. Shamrock's still around?
Shamrock's
Kimbo
still alive?
Slice's
How
name
old
on
is
that.
Shamrock? 59?
Yeah.
You know, Brian and I have spoken about Ken Shamrock because of my ignorance to the sport and real disregard. I mean, I'm just not a big fan.
Right.
I watched Ken in those underground fights, the ones that weren't sanctioned. You couldn't bet on them. There was no timed rounds.
You got him on VHS.
And
it happened
Ken
2 months
Shamrock
ago.
was a shoot fighter. You know, he would shoot on you, and that was it. Stuff was breaking. You were calling the fight was it. I watched him and Hoist Gracie fight, and it was a dynamic fight. I'm not a big fan of it, but that was something to watch. How, and all this decent and holy, can a guy that is an icon and a legend in birthing a culture like the MMA be dump trucked by a guy that flips people and finds spots, no offense, in a schedule, and be a 50-50 chance to lose to that guy who's a tight end for the how? Herschel Walker's an MMA fighter and he's going to beat Ken Shamrock? Tell me, please explain to me how Ken Shamrock, the legend of Ken Shamrock, can get beat by a Heisman winner.
Right.
And something that's not a football game. It's because why? The sport evolved and just ran him over.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Exactly. That's more or less what happened when there's no rules, no nothing, and people aren't training for 10, 15 years, because back when he started, he took over everything, and he was the man because the rules were different, or lack thereof, and people weren't training to become MMA fighters
Because it wasn't a sport.
It was a style.
It was a
fight.
Two
Take it over as
badass
possible.
dudes, stick them in a cage, and whoever comes
That's
out
right.
is the winner. Now that it's sanctioned, now that there's rules, now that there's rounds, now there's A, B, C, and D, the commission comes in, and all these other factors that makes it an even level playing field for someone like you, myself, to get in there and have a 50-50 chance to beat Ken Shamrock. Because now there's schools, now there's everything else. That's what happened
The
to that
Chinese golfers.
what?
That's right. The Chinese golfers.
Sure, they're a hockey team too, right?
Okay.
Chinese golfers?
The
What?
women's Chinese golfers. Stay with me here.
All right.
The golf over in that part of the world, they hook up a child to a machine, and they teach the child to swing a certain way. None of them have an individual style. None of them have the Jim Furyk upside down shot. None of them have the Adam Jones shot. It's all very systematic. You plug it in and you play it.
Mechanical.
You teach a child this from an infant, from your children's age right now, Brian, until they're 16 years old, and they win tournaments. They win big tournaments. They couldn't do it on their own, but they were programmed. They were taught. MMA, as I watch it, is you have a person like you or me that's not even young anymore. I'm past my prime in my age, and so are you. But you and I could go in and systematically we could learn an art based on the fact that it's plug and play. You roll here, you roll there. It's very mechanical.
It's fundamentals and patience. You roll, like you're saying, roll this way, roll that way, and when you roll this way or that way, you have option A or option B.
But why
Wait for it.
Susie Q beats one of the golfers, Patty Klein from 30 years ago, because it's just it's a learned muscle memory. It's a learned practice, and that's where I beef with the MMA. Herschel Walker, wants to get in. He did, and he did his thing.
He tried it.
A lot of the guys do, and Ryback, other than selling a bunch of tickets to some festival vendors and their family members, I mean...
Well, other pro wrestlers like Lashley, Lesnar, and Punk have all taken the dive in there. They've been a good television draw for their respective MMA brands that they fought for, but also your background matters too. Like Lashley...
Brock was a champ, wasn't he?
Well,
Brock was a Division A wrestling
Brock
champion.
and Lashley both have a high level of amateur wrestling background. So they have that. So you start to learn to strike with... On top of, you already know how to take someone down, hold them down, twist body parts a certain way, and now you teach a dude that's 265 to 285 how to hammer fist while he's holding you with one hand and pounding your, like a sledgehammer over and over and over. Don't care if you're a pro wrestler or a football player.
I have respect for that guy that trained as a child to be a gymnast, to be... an artist, to be a wrestler, and then he goes into college, finishes the top in the country, then says, you know what, I'm going to wrestle. I'm going to go WE. I'm going to go, and now I'm going to go to the MMA. That guy was a BA to begin with.
Yep.
So respect to him, not John Jones that is on the third card of a four show set on Saturday.
Tony, the boxer,
Tony Tubbs.
No, not Tubbs.
Tony,
James
Tony.
That was a bum. Tony was a bum. You got to hang that over my head for a decade because it was the only boxer that had gone in the ring that was even serviceable. The guy had a walker, and it was the first.
And got hand-fed.
And you guys weren't privy to this, but it was. I have animosity about it now. You can hear my displeasure about it.
He got hand-fed to a guy that had the fundamentals, that has already done it.
And Tony's a bum. Tony thought he was a good fighter because he was fighting in a dead era. There's nobody good that was in his division. And so he's like, you know what? I'll go into MMA. And it was a big deal. Oh, man, this guy's going to fight an MMA fighter. This is going to really prove to be, who's got the goods. Is it the boxer or is it the MMA guy? Man, don't even start. It wasn't even. It's not even cool. That's not even fair to talk about it.
How do you? One guy wears gloves, and they can only punch. Now you're trying to tell me it's going to be anything like a guy could use his feet, his elbows, his fists, jump and do anything you want. You can't do any of that.
No, and then if you remember, Tony sucked though.
Oh, absolutely.
Tony wasn't any good, and that was my beef.
But I'll tell you what though, if you stand them up, and he had to just say, okay, now box me.
Against Randy Couture, I'd argue that James Toney would lose that fight. Anybody else, I'd give advantage to Tony.
I'll even give you that example, but I doubt it because one is still a boxer.
Yeah.
Now, does he have great form and punch like crazy? Absolutely. But the difference between punching with your fists and being a boxer are the difference between night and day.
And because if it would have stayed on their feet,
right?
Randy Couture was an amateur boxer while he was in the Army,
right?
So he came from that background, and Dana White not only protected the UFC and his sport by saying, okay, James Toney, sure, I'm going to put you in there with someone that'll stand there and box with you. Not like Mike Tyson blow for blow, but if you just want to stand there and throw punches for 3 rounds with this guy can do it. Well, but heaven forbid, if it got to the ground, this guy also knows how to choke you out.
To say, well, he was an amateur boxer forever ago, still against a pro boxer.
Muscle memory, man. You put your hands up and you throw a punch.
Yeah, unless you're up against a professional.
That was the best athlete that Dana could put in there and
that's
protect
why
himself.
I like the old school UFC. I mean, if I had to like something, at least it was pure. It was me and you, Brian. You have a wrestling background, and I have a boxing background. A big middle finger to you, and a big middle finger to me, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. And we got it on. Dan Severn was dropping knees on dudes' heads.
Right. Yeah, and that's why the rules came in through.
But if you think you got the goods, bruh, then come on in.
Well, remember, that used to be the day where the ninjas would show up with their gis and be choked to death with those things within 5 seconds. Remember that?
Yeah. You're seeing a lot of big names and athletes jumping over. Alberto Rodriguez, also known as Del Rio from the WWE, he was 9-5 as a professional MMA fighter, and he's got the Greco-Roman style background. So, I mean,
and he'd get my nod. I would congratulate him for having some kind of history instead of a splash effect that Ryback's going to have going over.
Also, tough enough guys, Daniel Puder, Ryan Mitchell, and Justin Smith all came from 2004 class. Anyways, this is the Brian Gould Show Sports Edition. We'll be right back.
Gulfgate, Sarasota, it's time to eat, and there's only one place to go. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs, 2647 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Try the one-of-a-kind filet mignon sliders, or the award-winning Reuben sandwich, voted best in the state of Florida. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs is open Monday through Saturday till 3 a.m. So after the bars close, you can get some of the best food in Sarasota. Call in and place your order today at 941-923-2514. That's 941-923-2514. Check them out online at hamheavenanddevildogs.webs.com or on facebook.com/HH&DD.
This is Chuck from the BS Show. I wanted to take some time to talk about a great charity organization, the Honor Flight. This organization flies our veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit those memorials dedicated to honor the service and sacrifices of themselves and their friends. Please come out and drink some beers at Hurricane Mike's on the last Saturday of every month from 1 to 6. Hurricane Mike's has a guest bartender at each event, 50-50 raffles, liquor baskets, and silent auctions. The bartenders even donate all the tips they make that day. Hurricane Mike's is located at 2639 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Last month, Hurricane Mike's raised over $1,100 for the Honor Flight. From everyone here at 444 Radio and Hurricane Mike's, we want to thank you for your support of our vets.
Hey guys, how we doing? This is Evan from the Bee and the Soup Bed Show. I'm here with Rita from J-Dub's Brewing Company, and we're in studio. How are we doing today, Rita?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Hey, I know you have a fantastic brewery over there. Please tell me a little bit about it.
The brewery itself has a tasting room. It has 10 tap lines, so you can find anything that you want, from a light to a dark flavor.
So whatever you like, you can get it?
Absolutely, we got a flavor for you.
Perfect. Also, tell me a little bit about the beer garden I'm hearing so much about.
We got a big backyard out back. We're kid-friendly, we're dog-friendly, so you can come bring your family and friends and just have a good time, play some games, and drink some beer.
Excellent. And then you guys got food?
Absolutely. We got food trucks every day around 5 o'clock. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to midnight.
Excellent. Hey, I hear a rumor that you guys do something cool over there on Wednesdays.
We do. We have free yoga on Wednesday evening starting at 6:30. Come hang out and drink a beer and stretch it out.
And that sounds like a great way to spend a Wednesday, I'll tell you. It's 1215 Mango Avenue, Sarasota, Florida, 941-955-2739. And what about social media?
Go to jdubsbrewing.com and you'll find everything right there.
You guys are by far the best brewery in town, and we're proud to have you guys as our sponsor. Come on out there, have a drink with us, and we'll sit around and have a good time.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, this is Paulie from the BS Show. When I'm out and about, having too many, it happens to us all, there's only one cab service I call. It's my ride. 941-400-6606. No more 3-time surcharges. No more drivers that don't speak English, don't know where you're going. They pick you up. They take you home safely, clean cars. They're professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. And when you're riding with My Ride, don't forget to mention the BS Show, 20% off your ride. Chucky, on occasion, we'll have too much.
Not me, Paul.
These guys are the best. They're what you want to call. They will take care of you. 941-400-6606. My Ride. It's not your ride. It's not his ride.
My ride.
It's my ride.
Hello, this is Captain Sherman of Paradise Boat Tours, and if you're looking for a great adventure on our beautiful local waters, then we are the boat tour for you. Check out our website at seadolphins.com. We leave 7 days a week from Bradenton Beach Pier on beautiful Anna Maria Island. It's fun for the whole family, and yes, we see wild dolphin 95% of our tours. Paradise Boat Tours. Call us at 941-465-8624. Like us on Facebook or go to seadolphins.com. Here, Flipper.
So, Evan, you want to make the other announcement? I know you're excited and happy.
We do have a fantastic new sponsor, absolutely. We are now very lucky to have Rico's Pizza as a sponsor for us. 6547 Gateway Avenue in Gulfgate. They're open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. They've been there 17 years. Jump online, ricospizzatogo.com. Give them a phone call at 941-922-9604. We did find out today that you mentioned the 444 Radio or the BS show from 444 Radio, you will get 20% off your tab. Give them a phone call, guys, 941-922-9604 or ricospizzatogo.com.
How you doing? This is Chuck from the BS Show. I would like to tell you about a great company, Sarasota Sign Machine, LLC, the exclusive sign and print sponsor for 444 Radio. A sign of quality you can trust, located at 601 North Washington Boulevard, celebrating 6 years in business and over 20 years of experience in Sarasota. If you need signs, banners, vehicle magnets, custom design, neon repair, business cards, printing, and more, trust the Sarasota Sign Machine. Look, let's be honest, you have so much more to think about when running your own business. Call us at 941-302-4275. Check us out on Facebook or at sarasotasignmachine.com. A sign of quality you can trust. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Evan, we've lived here 6 months and this bathroom still looks terrible. You're supposed to help me remodel it by now.
I know. You just know how busy I am, though.
Busy? We've got to get this done. If I can't do it because I don't have time and you don't have time, what are we going to do?
I know who to call.
Hello, my name is Stephen Dennis. I own a business here in town called Needaman2 LLC. My email address is needaman2@gmail.com. My number is 941-232-2776. Again, that's 941-232-2776.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
What a great idea.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sean Stringer. Me and Dr. Philip Nikeo are the newest members of the 444 radio lineup. We'll cover weight loss, health issues, mental health issues, and we'll talk with top health, wellness, and personal development gurus in the industry. You can even call in with your questions and much, much more. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 on 444 Radio.
We are back. This is the Brian Gould Show Sports Edition on 444 Radio. Yeah, laugh over here, Chuckles. I don't know what a nutter bar is.
I thought the show was a Nutty Buddy.
Same thing. Come on, man.
No.
Evan is totally... Don't know me. Don't know me anymore. You are done with know me disagreeing, Negative Nelly.
No.
Yeah.
So is it called a nutter
bar? Is the things that's shaped like a peanut.
That's correct, Joe.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Along the same lines. Get out of here.
Nutty
Either way, this guy
Buddies are the stuff.
doesn't even know what it is. It's
I'm so confused.
disgusted.
Although I've never really been into sweets for the most part, so
That is a big pile of horse.
I'm hard to
pucky.
believe. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
No,
Malarkey.
his calorie intake was alcohol.
Alcohol.
He drank enough alcohol to make everyone in this room hungover for a week every night.
That's absolutely true.
Wrap up the MMA news. Dana White got cornered yesterday. And asked
cornholed, what?
Yeah, got asked about a Cyborg and Ronda Rousey fight, and he said, "I can tell you this: Ronda wants to fight Cyborg, absolutely, positively wants to fight her, and we'll see what happens. And that she's getting nasty again and has her head in the right place for a fight. Now, granted, this won't be Rousey's first fight when she gets back, and there's a lot of elements that have to align for a fight like this to happen. Rousey fights at 135, Cyborg fights at 145. Rousey will not move up in weight to fight her because of some past...
Because she's got no chance.
No. Cyborg got popped last year for performance enhancement at 145. So the only way that this fight possibly could happen is at a catch weight, which would be the 140 area. But again, Rousey won't move up to 140. And Cyborg had a very difficult time getting down to the 141 just for this last fight that she won on Saturday night. So we'll see what happens.
Everybody wants to see it. And they've wanted to see it for years. It should have happened years ago.
Rousey should stay the hell away from her. There is no up to her fighting her.
Not right now.
She's
Definitely
going
not.
to get killed,
Yep.
and her career is over.
I agree.
I see you dance around her as long as they let you, until they come to you and say, well, now you have to fight her, and then you pretend to fall and break your leg. That's what you do.
I'm still convinced Chris Cyborg is a guy.
So is he.
She's the baddest woman walking this planet.
I tend to agree with it. I tend to agree with it.
Brian, is that the woman that choked out the announcer? Allegedly, that was not a work; it was a shoot. The guy said, "Oh, no girl can choke me out," and she put him in a choke right there, and he turned green and was unconscious in 5 seconds. Then they woke him back up. And he asked what happened. I think that was Cyborg.
Yes, it was. Right. She did it 2 years ago, I think. Well, about
it's
a year.
Been some time.
About a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. No, it might have been longer than that.
It looks staged.
A lot of speculation came back. That was who was that she did that to? I forget his name, but it was during an interview. And yes, she did choke him out, and he went unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is the woman. Yeah.
It was some reporter.
That's what he just said.
Yeah.
Phone face.
Yeah,
that's strong.
Ronda needs to get back in the movies while she can.
Decide what you want to do. You can look sexy and make millions in a movie, or you can look sexy and get your teeth knocked in.
And you could do it a lot longer.
You know what? She was the baddest woman on the planet for a long time till she got upset, and she has yet to rebound back from that. And now, you got to look at it kind of like when I'm trying to think, who was it that
Rocky 3 until he found Mr. T.
Until you found Clubber Lang, and then that's what Ronda Rousey found was Clubber.
So she needs
Lang.
to fight Clubber again and get some closure on whether or not
she needs to get one fight under her belt and then go right back at.
So you're saying she's going to come back and have a career again?
Yeah.
MMA.
No, she'll fight. She might fight before the year's out. Not likely, but I see her at the beginning of next year.
If
definitely.
she loses this one fight back,
you know what happens?
Do you still want to see the Cyborg fight?
Well, here's the thing. Now that's what happens. If you remember Rocky 4, she's got to go fight the Russian, and that didn't turn out well for her either. And it killed his best friend.
She could fight the Polish.
I'd be curious what she makes. What she net from. From MMA and what? Well, she could be put into a Victoria's Secret. Not just be lingerie, but that's what she sells. She sells sex. Mm-hmm. Sex sells.
Well, she makes money doing that, but her endorsements don't come from movies. Her endorsements come from choking people out. That's where they come from. You don't get an endorsement by going and taking a backflip on Fast and Furious 7, and that's it. You know, that's one and done movie. You don't get endorsed that way, unfortunately. Michael Jordan to get endorsed by showing up on Space Jam. So
yeah, I mean, if he only did one Space Jam, but if he does 3 or 4 and people like that, then he may be able to find a career doing that. But that's what I was saying.
Maybe we'll tell Chris Bosch to do that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Hockey news, Team Canada versus Team Europe tonight. Best of 3 series kicks off on ESPN. You can watch those games on my website, briangouldshow.com. Should be a really good series. I got Canada winning that in 2 games. I don't see that going 3. I got a final score of 5-2 tonight, and either 4-1 or 5-1 tomorrow night. I think it's just going to be lopsided victories, both games. Preseason kicked off on Sunday, but we had a lot of games last night, and we have a lot of games tonight. I won't go over all the scores from last night, but a couple key games tonight. For you Red Wings fans, we're hosting Pittsburgh. It's our last season in the Joe. Sniffle, sniffle. And, of course, if you've got any Tampa Bay listeners out there, you're hosting Carolina tonight.
Go Bolts.
That should be a good game. Vancouver at San Jose, another good game. Arizona at Anaheim. Calgary at Winnipeg. Winnipeg's looking really good this season. Minnesota is a team to look out for. That's my quiet sleeper team coming out of the West.
I'm listening to you.
Is Minnesota.
I'm listening.
And Nashville at Florida. Both teams look very, very good. Of course, Nashville picking up P.K. Subban in that trade. And the Panthers came out of nowhere with a bunch of nobodies led by a 114-year-old Jaromir Jagr that still doesn't know how to stop. And, man, that guy is looking great even at his age. So
he gets better with age.
How old is he?
Like wine.
46?
I think so.
No.
I'm looking that
telling
up.
you.
I'm looking that
he
up
might
right
be
now.
older than that.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Are you
man.
kidding me?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Jaromir Jagr is 44.
Okay.
Czech Republic guy.
Oldest pro athlete?
Right.
Obviously.
Andrew Chuck used to be, didn't he?
Andrew Chuck was up there, yeah, for a long time.
And Bork. Although,
Yep.
some of those guys, Dave was old, Ray was older. I mean, for hockey, they were playing over 20 years in the league.
Yep, right at the 2021-22 season mark.
That's a big number, man. I mean,
That's a long
those guys
time.
talk about beating your body up.
And that's at the NHL level. I mean, Jagr did take a couple seasons off to play overseas, and he played before he even laced up skates in the NHL. So this guy's probably more like 25, 26 seasons, as a amateur, semi-pro, and a pro athlete. Really good player. Glad to see he can still keep up there.
Jerry Rice, Jerry Rice played football into his 40s, and he did that not just because of the money. I mean, he did okay. He did it. He loved football, and don't take away the fact that he's also an ego monster.
I thought it was the those awesome cornrows, which is why he got the staff.
Yeah,
one season
cornrows
of
and
yeah.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a human being ever. Ever.
Looked like a Flavor Flav.
Odell.
Flavor Flav looked at him and was like, "What the hell are you doing? You're an idiot."
You put an Oakland jersey on Flavor
Oh,
Flav
God.
and put a helmet on him.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Whoa.
His hair is just...
So glad to see some pro hockey preseason kicking off. The World Cup of Hockey will wrap up this week. So again, like I said, I'm predicting Canada in 2 games, 2-0, win the gold, and then we'll get things moving back the way they need to be in the NHL. Kicking over to some college football, the Wolverines of Wall Street, guys. Les Miles to Michigan, maybe. Harbaugh did say it's a good suggestion. According to the Detroit Free Press, he has the utmost respect for Les, and there's a possibility of Miles joining the Wolverines as a consultant or even an honorary captain before the season's out. Miles told Dan Patrick yesterday on the Dan Patrick Show that he is not interested in retirement, that he still wants to coach.
Of course he does.
Yes, that's Les Miles' alma mater. Of course, he passed up the job when Lloyd Carr got let go. He passed it up when Brady Hoke got let go. So, third time a charm here? Les Miles to Michigan?
He's not. I mean, really? You think Harbaugh's not going to? He's going to relinquish the reins there?
No. As an assistant consultant.
only if it was in his contract. I've thought of this.
Saban and Lane
he may
Kiffin,
have.
Well,
those contracts are thicker than a encyclopedia.
And Lane Kiffin had nowhere else to go.
And those guys, you know, ask Saban. You know, he wasn't allowed to go coach in this conference again. If Les, you know, he may not be able to coach if we let you go, if you walk, if you get termed, you can't coach in the SEC for 3 years. You can't coach in the SEC for 10 years. All that stuff's in those contracts that you and I don't see. So there may be some things that
there might be a stipulation there.
So with that stipulation being said, he is dying to get back into coaching football. Not just because he has egg on his face and he looks like, you know, he did a bad job, because he did. Going in and working underneath Harbaugh.
One second, guys. Did something happen this weekend I don't know about?
Les Miles got fired.
Are you kidding me?
No,
he got fired.
He got canned.
He got canned the next day after they lost to Auburn. And
I'll let you soak
week.
that in.
Yeah,
you called that, didn't you?
Yeah, we all did.
Are you kidding me?
If he were to you know, lose that game over the weekend,
I said he was going to lose, and if he loses, or when he lost, or if he lost, he's going to get fired.
Didn't we just
he's
say
going to lose to Auburn?
LSU needs to take a very long look at Tennessee and watch what happens if you do that?
Yep.
Your Michigan team could take him. I could see him going on to your coaching staff and just being dormant.
Just a consultant.
Just to be affiliated with something and let the dust settle and let the egg get off his face, dry and clean himself off. And then he's going to find himself a second-tier gig.
Yes.
Mississippi State, he's going to go find himself a gig like that. Heaven forbid Brian Kelly keeps acting a fool and Notre Dame is going to have an opening.
Yep.
But he's going to find himself a second-tier team like Bobby Petrino did with Louisville.
South Carolina.
Okay? A team like that. And then in 3 years when he...
Kentucky.
Okay. Here's a point on the Les Miles. Les Miles is an old-school dude. Hike. Hand off. OBJ's been there. You know, Mike, the kid that Tampa drafted back in 2004. They've had some good offense. They've had some good talent come off the team. They do not play open offense. Even Nick Saban's starting to loosen up a little bit on how he plays because he's recognizing that the sport is moving on. Did you just not hear about, you know, MMA, or you either move with it or you get run over by it? And Les Miles is a dinosaur, and he wasn't willing to change. And you can't go out there every week and have 35 touches to Forsett and expect to win the game every week. The defense isn't going to win you the game every week. Let the defense win with a turnover, and we'll win, you know, by 6 points. Bro, that's behind you. So welcome to new football. If he can't...
Doesn't mean your defense still isn't the best in the country.
That's right. But your offense has to adapt.
On.
You have to adapt to your environment. Dan Marino was the best quarterback in football 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But now, what would he be?
Got a Dolphins fan here.
He'd blend in. He'd be marginal.
Wow, you're full of it. He'd throw for 8,000.
Dan Marino.
He would throw for 8,000 yards and 75 touchdowns.
What quarterback... Tell me, I'd like the room to.
He did what everyone's doing now 30 years ago.
Name 3 quarterbacks in the league? Not name Peyton Manning because he's retired. Tom Brady is off the table. Name 3 quarterbacks who are pocket passers and do not have any. They don't run.
Ben Roethlisberger.
1.
Andrew Luck.
No, Andrew Luck ran a 4.4 that was quicker.
Matt
Schaub is not in the league anymore. He used to throw to Heath Miller and Barber and get me animated. Andrew Luck ran a 4.40 quicker than...
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Okay, Matty Ice is also from 2004.
New Orleans. What's the name of New Orleans?
2008.
2008.
He runs everywhere.
Matty Ice ran a little last night. My point is that the quarterbacks now are the Russell Wilsons. And Roethlisberger, no, sir, he ran all over the place in college and when he was younger, when he first came up. And I'll fight that until the bitter end. The quarterbacks run the ball now because the NFL has transitioned to something different. Awesome. And the NFL is now something different. It is morphed. It's changed. It's evolved. And you either evolve with it. Joe Gibbs, my beloved Redskins.
He's coached
he came back
3 Super Bowls without a Hall of Fame quarterback. He only coached to do that.
And they ran the ball. John Riggins, Ernest Biner, John Riggins, Ernest Biner. They had a back, but his his fundamentals were run the ball, play defense, will win the game. And the NFL said, hey, man, by the way, we've changed a little bit, so we're going to need to have you move out of the neighborhood because you're no longer welcome here. No, but I'm going to stay here. And then he gets thrown out of the neighborhood. Sorry, sir, we don't serve your kind here. You're going to have to go because he didn't throw the ball.
He sounded so good saying that, didn't he?
It's what happened in the NFL. It's what happens in them. You have to evolve. So,
so you're saying he wouldn't change?
I'm saying Les Miles will not change. He hasn't changed the way he's coached in a decade.
He'll end up probably in Michigan to some capacity, just interim.
And someone else comes into LSU and runs it like Nevada or Oklahoma State, and they go win a championship again because that defense is badass. That defense comes out there and does what the LSU defense does every year, which is put out NFL caliber players on that 11 side of the football. Man, it'd be something.
Yeah, guys, we've got 3 top 10 matchups. Number 7, Stanford at Washington. Number 8, Wisconsin at Michigan. And, of course, another really big one, Clemson and Louisville. Louisville at Clemson, 3 versus 5. Who do you guys like? Louisville at Clemson.
Louisville.
Wisconsin at Michigan.
Michigan.
Come on, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin had some turnovers. They created turnovers last week. They created turnovers.
Stanford at a very quiet crept into the top 10. Washington.
You know, Washington's been looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But where is it? Is it at Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Carl Pickens' ghost comes and wears number 81.
I'll take Washington in that one.
I like Washington as well. For some reason, I got a weird feeling that those guys are going to come out of the Pac-12 perfectly fine, unscathed.
Who else you
got? Well, we can go over the rest of them if you want. Those are the 3 big marquee matchups.
Guess a number. Florida State's points allowed ranking in NCAA in college football.
Their ranking?
Their national ranking. There's 137?
136 teams, right?
Okay. So what number are the Florida State Seminoles?
They've got to be second to last. They've got to be up there.
108.
And what?
Points
allowed. 108. They had a number after 107. That's where Portland State and Wyoming usually
Matt
are.
Stafford in that QB thing that you were just talking about. Sorry.
Okay. He's a pocket passer.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. You said name 3. It took me
One out of
a few
30.
minutes. Yeah.
It's supposed to take you a few minutes because they're not left
Aaron
anymore.
Rodgers is. I mean, he'll run if he has to, but he's
the Phillip Rivers, the Matt Ryans, the Stafford, and what else do they have in common, Joe?
They're older.
They're older.
They're older.
Sweet Jesus on the cross.
Yeah,
They're all been in the league
and
a
who's
decade.
the best quarterback right now in the league? Probably Aaron Rodgers still. So.
Matt Stafford's younger than us.
I want to take this moment and thank Jay for sliding that in twice in one afternoon. That's what she said. Well done, sir.
Both holes.
The Tampa native, Matt Stafford's only 28 years old.
That is strong. I applaud you, sir.
All right, guys, in closing, we are going to go through suicide drills. Today's Tuesday.
Nice.
I ask you a question, yes or no, and yes, I made sure they were yes or no answers only.
Way to exploit that last week, Evan.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Exploit your teats, so you keep that up.
I'm not going to pay my taxes either.
Yep.
If you want to change the rules, change the rules.
Yes, we discussed most of the stuff earlier, so we'll rehash. I only have 6 of them that were pretty quick draw, McDraw. So yes or no, no explanation.
No.
Taking it from the top. Fine, I'll go to the other side of the table. Evan,
yes.
135-pound Ronda Rousey defeats a 140-pound Cyborg 2 years.
No.
2 years from now.
No.
2 years from now.
No.
Jay.
No.
No.
Nope.
Yes, I agree.
With us or
no? Number 2, starting over here. Ryback wins his first fight as an MMA fighter.
God.
If I'm understanding, no.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
No.
Unless he fights the Invisible Man, no.
If I was listening to what you guys are saying, no.
Yes, I say he does because it's at Bellator, and they have crap for heavyweights right now, with the exception of 3. Number 3, Brian Kelly will still be the head coach of Notre Dame at the end of the season.
No.
Wait, he's still the coach? No, seriously, he didn't get fired?
No.
No.
The defensive coordinator.
Oh, no,
did.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
No, he will not be there.
He'll be termed.
No.
Nope.
LSU's next head coach will be someone who is a current head coach. Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Trying to think who's out there. No.
They run interim for the next 8 games.
Right, they'll run that, but it's a already head coach somewhere else. Will jump ship more or less is what I'm saying. Number 4, 40 San Francisco loses to Dallas. We will see Colin Kaepernick start in the next game. Yes or no?
Not yet.
No.
No, not yet. No.
2 weeks.
I agree. 2 weeks. Give it a couple weeks.
Not this weekend. Next weekend, Kaepernick will be playing.
49ers. There we go. Home and a 49ers.
I got you, lady.
I say yes.
I thought you were trying to say Floridians.
Yeah,
Have you seen my baseball?
Last one here.
Get him some sugar.
Were you here
spoon.
for the Greg Hardy thing? You weren't.
No, I was not. I'm
about his cocaine thing last night? Okay, cool. Greg Hardy will be in an NFL jersey playing out on the field next season.
No.
Next season.
He done.
Bye,
Felicia.
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Joe?
He's going to be found not guilty on this charge too, and
yes or no?
Yes.
Shoot from the hip.
He'll be in the NFL.
I say yes as well. I think he makes
plenty of rapists and murderers playing in the NFL, so it's okay.
There you go. Well, there you go, guys. Short, sweet, and to the point. Another suicide drill.
What she said.
For Mr. Joe Cool, Murdoch, Jay, and Evan, this is the Brian Gould Show, Sports Edition on 444 Radio. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.